Hey everybody, thanks for coming back. I'm going to do a astrological trading video. So I use this program to show me where the transits were for each orb, each degree of the transit, when it was before the exact time of the transit and the exact time, and that's this over here too, the minute, hour. And this here, and I actually shouldn't be using GMT 6, I should be using GMT 5, so let me recalculate this. So yeah, it's just here's an example here of just the way you get the aspect orb values, exact day, and then the orb values for the days after. And that just orb values, when I say that, really just means the degree that it is away from the aspect or before it. So with this, we can look at trends. We can look at trends. I've got it set to pretty much the time that Ethereum coins are taken off, and I got it set to the end of June. So let's look at some aspects. All right. So April 28th. It's a Venus-Jupiter square on the face of it, and we'll see which kind it is. I got more notes, but Venus-Jupiter square on the 28th. Okay, so that's right here, and we got this quincunx trine square pattern. So that's 150 degrees, 120 degrees, 90 degrees from the sun's perspective. So you can see, get the sun-centered chart here. So 150 degree, 120 degree, 90 degree, and how close was the orb? Like, how close were the planets to making this aspect? So today on the 22nd, we're right here, and then the exact time will hit here, and here's the exact time. Okay, you following me? Okay, so look here at my notes for Venus, Jupiter. So I picked some. So there's multiple squares that have happened, for years, but these are particular times when this pattern has happened, quincunx trine square. And we're gonna look at a couple dates. So we got this time coming up, and so we're gonna look at what happened on 2019. September 4th, and what happened in 2019, January 11th. Okay, so let's get this here. Alright, so we got January, let's do the September one first. September 4? Is that what I said? I think that's what I said. Okay. Might have to go airplane mode real quick, because I'm going to get real distracted otherwise. Okay. Yep. Alright. And the aspect we were looking at, got to keep my marbles here. Venus, Jupiter square. So, obviously, this is the sun chart. You can see heliocentric, got that set. Venus is here, Jupiter is here, okay? So that's the square. I'm going to bring this back up, but first I'm going to go to a trading chart. I don't have a good trading graphs app like I do on my phone, so I'm just gonna go with this for now. Let's go on airplane mode for now. Yep, April 23rd. Okay, so yeah, we can look at the 1 year chart for this one. So yeah, so this is what we're looking at. this one. We're looking at these days. Okay. So 2019 9/4. Okay. That's 10/4, obviously. Okay. So right there, that's what was going on. This generally would have been a good buy. People were getting ready for the big sell, but there wasn't that much buying either. So let's look at, so we got that whole range there, you know, August 29 all the way to 9/11. So that, see how that energy was like a big player right there? That's the energy we're looking at right there. So that would have been a great buy right there. But let's see if that stands up in at least one other instance, okay? Because I mean, you can't this is dicey, isn't it? Because I mean, you got to really make sure you're not totally getting yourself confused here. Okay, 2019 January 4. Okay. Okay, so January 4, that was kind of a sell-off day, but you still would have been in good shape if you'd bought but before here, right? Okay, so in two instances we got a buy that looks like a sell. So that buy looked like a sell right there. And let's see, January, September 9th, September 4th. Harder. Okay, so yeah, that looked like a sell too. I mean, it really looked like it was going down. Yeah, that really looked like a sell right there. But then it goes up here. So let's look at this date on the chart, September 19. Because as you can see, it doesn't. This does not go that far. That's a totally different aspect. We have to look at a different chart to find what was going on right here to make that happen. But you can, oops, that's what I didn't want to do. I wanted to avoid that. But that's okay. It's not that big a deal. Okay. Yep. So let's, yeah, 9/19, right? So let's see how this changed. We're especially looking at Venus and Jupiter. So the aspect we were looking at there was a strong square. So that's like a challenge to, you know, our values, where we're finding value, money, you know, and the expansion. So like there is a force keeping it from expanding right there. So let's see if that disappears. Yep. So let's see what happened on the 19th. So Venus was again challenged by a square. So it's a different square this time. It's a Venus-Saturn square. But you know, Venus isn't really being challenged right now with all this. I can't really tell you why it went up. This is not financial advice for sure. But let's see if I can make that readable for you without. Oh, come on. Yeah, you guys should have to remember that's Venus over there. Okay, so September 4. Venus had support from, you know, the planets of change and restriction and power over here. Venus has some support here on the 4th, but the actual expansion was challenged, but we were feeling good about it. we felt cautious about it, like in a good way. Like our values were connected with our caution, and like that's a big caution energy. And we were feeling in tune with that too. Like our thinking was secure around that. All right, so push that forward. I'm just kind of giving you an example of how you can do this. I might not look at this for in this depth for every aspect. I don't know. But okay, so like you can see there's a big challenge there, and that's all there is left. Like there's no more support. Venus doesn't have any more support there. She had some support from Mars that whole time, but and some support from Jupiter to help it expand. So when did that start? The 14th. So we're looking at like a strong expansion from the 14th. Am I even right? That's Mercury. Well, our thinking was expand, or was being was able to expand there. That's okay. So all that's left for the support to Venus there was gone by the 19th. That's the main thing I want to look at. But let's look at how Mercury was supported there from the 14th to not 18th. So, okay. So 14th. To the 18th. Yep, that's a big expansion. And of course, Mercury is the dispositor of Gemini, and Gemini is like fintech. Gemini is very fintech. I mean, I even found out today that there's a whole platform called Gemini for your coins. So it makes sense. It just makes sense. All right, so if Mercury is well aspected, especially to Jupiter, like that aspect will definitely make it expand. So yeah, that's a, you get that. Hope you got that. Tried. All right, so yeah. So what do I make of that? I think as long as the Mercury is well aspected after this buy, then it might be a good one. So let me look back at that chart. I think you guys want me to look back at that chart for that one. So we'll look at what it's doing right now. So 23. Okay, so you see heliocentric. All right, so there's going to be a strong energy of restricting that expansion in our value. It's going to go, but it's going to go direct there. So where's Mercury in that? So Mercury is against that. Mercury is not into that at the time. So yeah, the market might go, it's definitely not going to go up during that time. At least I don't think it's going to go up. But let's see what's Mercury got in the time after that. Okay, look, so Mercury is gonna trine the moon. We're emotionally gonna be on board with it. It's gonna help our value right there too. So where does that? It's exact on that day. So the pressure is gonna go off, but I don't know if it's gonna climb up very quickly, because it's still applying to Saturn, so there's going to be some, extra caution around that. So, am I still recording? Yep, I'm doing it. Okay, let's see, does that continue? Mercury is supporting our activity there. That's Mercury Yeah, I think people are going to be really buying up there because that's Mercury conjoined Uranus, and that's a big, you know, they're both in Taurus. Mercury is thinking about the money, and Uranus, like that's like unusual, like shocking, extreme. So that's like that's very digital money energy, in my humble opinion. Um, let's see there. So that Mercury, Venus, um, that aspect is going to lift off with Venus. So that's going to finish up that one. So like, but look, like all these days, like Mercury has been in tune with expanding around that after it picked up on this. So what's Venus going to do next, though? That's really what I want to know because you want to see all the signs pointing to one thing, right? What's this? Yeah, so it's still waning in the influence there. So, yeah, we might see a bit more of that in our as it comes up. But ooh, I wonder about that. Venus oppose Uranus. So, I don't know if I have time to get into that, but I hope you got some insight about a couple days there. And we're going to kind of touch on that same thing because that's not the only aspect, But, yeah, May 4th, Venus Saturn squares. So we're going to look at some historical Venus Saturn squares here because, yeah, that's another big thing. So you're really balancing the Venus Jupiter square up here with the Venus Saturn square. Like, those are the big. How's Mercury going to deal with that? That's really what I'm looking at. Right. Okay, so we're going to look at the Venus Saturn aspects. So we got interestingly, the same pattern of aspects, because that's because they're so close to each other. They've been through the same pattern of aspects there. Okay, so this is what I found earlier when I was researching in brief, and these ones I have indented here. These are the ones that follow the pattern that's up here. And the whole list here, this is like all of Venus Saturn squares. So like on the face of it, it looks like this was either a last minute sell or like a really great buy. So, but we're gonna look at how that actually played out in the charts. So that'll be May 4th when that happens. And so the dates we're looking at are this day. This is this is an interesting day that you definitely would have wanted to know about if you had bought, if you were into this buying cryptos before. And the reason I'm doing this all around cryptos is because I think that that's really where we're looking for our value right now, is in like disruptive assets with Uranus, Uranus and Taurus there. Okay, so we're gonna look at this one first, actually, because it's more interesting. So 2017 1031. Okay. Cool. So on this day, so this is a while ago, so like things are different. Like Uranus was still in Aries, and the Earth was in Taurus. Interesting. The Earth is always on the opposite side. Wait. Yeah, the Earth is always on the opposite side of the Sun, which makes sense if you think about it. So it's over here, and let me see if I can even think about that. That's probably like the first degrees of, Scorpio. Scorpio season time. So if I switch this over to the geocentric chart, you probably see like this Jupiter Sun conjunction. Let me see if I can do that without breaking this and wasting your time here. No, I can't. I can't do that without wasting your time or breaking the device, and so I'm not going to do that. But okay, so the main point is that this happened right here. Venus was squaring Saturn. So, and the pattern of aspects is the same. So, like before, like you're gonna see Venus made, see this trine aspect back then, back when, back when, and before that, you see this like back, this inconjunct. So you see how those are the last three aspects. So you got me. So that's why the order of the aspects is important, because these are these are cycles, not just like individual events here. So that's the exact time. Okay. And I'm going to come back to that and analyze that a bit more, but I want to show you what happened on that day, because you would have wanted to know about cryptos, or Ethereum specifically, back then, because it's it was a big day. All right, let's look at that now. Okay, so I think it's right here. Yeah, look at that. So right there would have been a great time, right? Would have been a great time to buy. So like, man, that would have been good. Okay, so that's that one, and I'm gonna see if I can dig into why did that happen. So like, when you're talking about Venus Saturn square, you're talking about like restriction and caution around the way we use our value, and then bam, like why did that caution suddenly like go to the wind there? So let's see if I can dig that out. Yeah, if you'll bear with me, I will pull that back up. I just don't want y'all to see my passwords. Not that I doubt much would come of it, but okay. So, like, what happened the days after that? So that Venus released that square. So we're really looking at Venus. We're looking at Uranus as the disruptor. We're looking at Saturn and Mercury. Oof. So we got this tension, this restriction on our values is lifting off. And there's a big expansion energy from Mercury there. Mercury is with Saturn, so people might have been really in tune with how to do this in the right way here. And like Venus, like Mercury and Sagittarius, that they want to go, that's like thinking that it wants to go far. Okay, so let's see if anything else happens. Okay, look, so there's a semi-sextile to Venus. So Venus like left this, constricting aspect, and then the energy of Mercury that was with Saturn is over here with Jupiter, the expander, and it was giving. This is a good aspect to Venus here to give it some support. So we were emotionally on board with it the next day. So how far did that go? Like, how long did it take to get there? I'm interested in that. Let me see if I can find that. I should have made better note, but hey, it's just for fun, right? It's just for practice. It's just because it's real and it's interesting, Like that's what it's about right now. I'm not trying to. Okay, let's see. So all the way to January 20 around, there was a big lift off. So we're gonna have to look at longer term kind of thing first with that. All right. So Yeah, we're just gonna look at the rest of the year up until January if we can see if there was anything that was really pushing that along, and we can see that like Venus or Jupiter sextile Saturn, that probably had a lot to do with it too. That's a good supporting aspect between our desire to control and our desire to expand in our finances. So let's see, keep an eye out on Venus. That's really the other one. We want to see how she's doing, where she's getting challenged. Pluto, that's extreme. That's like an extreme sort of aspect. So like Venus could have been picking up on that. I don't know what else was going on in the market during that time. So many factors. Okay, Venus was in a sextile with Saturn during that time, so that was a good time. And it just let's see. Yeah, and then Venus got all the way to the expander here, so like we were like on board with this the whole time. Like we're before that. Yep, that's great. That's great energy for that. Looking good, looking great. Yeah, then Neptune started to challenge it, so people were probably like wondering by then how far this is going to go. Venus and Sagittarius, we wanted to go with our values, and that, wow, that's a great aspect for that. Okay, I'm just going to zoom ahead here because I'm taking way too long. Why did it start going down? That's what I want to see. Why did it start going down? Okay, so there was another square between Venus and Jupiter around there. So like the expansion like that we've been enjoying this whole time, it's got to stop at that point. So Venus, and we're aware of that. Like we're tuned into that. Like Venus and Aquarius, it's a high tech sort of mood. And so we were on board with selling at that point. So that makes sense that it was going to go down. And the T-square there, so like people were really aware that this is like a critical moment. People were emotionally aware of it. They were aware that this expansion is not going to keep going with Venus. Okay. All right, I hope that was helpful. So, yeah. Oh yeah, let's look at the other date, and then I'll look at the future time with all this. See how, what aspects are going to be, helping or hurting with that. So remember, we got Venus, Jupiter square, and Venus, Saturn square. Here, and those are the main transits with Venus during this time. So I don't know if it's really a great time to make that super bucks, that that big money that people can make doing this kind of trading. But we'll look into it. We'll see what's really there. All right, so 2019, 9/18, and this was a time to sell. It was one of the last times you had to really sell before it really crashed. So like Saturn is like not a bad thing with Venus. Like it's telling us that like to be cautious. Like we're cautious. We're challenged around being cautious. And it seems like as soon as that influence lifts, like then like there's a better time for it to go up, But people are going to be more cautious around this time, I think. Well, actually, it's going to build up to that, and then like once this time hits, it might go up. So we're gonna look at that time for it going up. But let's look at 2019 9/18, okay, and then we'll look at the financial chart for that. As far as I know, I haven't made any major mistakes yet. Alright, 2019, 9/18, and because I'm not very smart, I'm gonna make sure, yep, 2019, 9/18 is the exact time for that one. And what happened? It was the last time to sell. And let me, actually, I should have done this first. That'll still be there, but I gotta prove that to you first before I really get into that. Sorry. Sorry about that. You can see my account. But, yeah, let's look at 10 or 9/19, 2019. Right? Am I looking at the right? Is this what I was looking for? Okay, see, that's really interesting because this is the aspect we should have been looking at before, or the one I mentioned. I didn't know what it was. It's this one, if I'm not totally mistaken. 2019, 9/18. Yeah, that would have been the right time to sell, right? So, why? Why is that? Why was that a great time to sell? Am I looking at this right? 2019, 9/18. Oh, yeah, I am. I'm looking at it right. 2019, 9/18. Alright, so that was the time to sell on that one. Okay, so let me pull this one back up. Okay, so Venus was moving to the square, which went exact there. And then it looks like after it hit, it fell off. So 21st, what's Mercury doing? What's everybody doing here? Looks like caution got the better of us. Everybody took profits. So like this planet Jupiter was not interacting with Venus during that time. So during that whole buy-up phase, Mercury was there. Mercury was helping out. But we've gone from pessimism around our expansion. You know, we talked about that earlier. That's the one that we were looking at. Pessimism around expanding in our value. And that lifted up. Okay, so and then like that, the whole rush up happened. And okay, we moved past right, that's the square. So we want safety in our money and our values. So that makes sense, doesn't it? I gotta kind of think about these things usually before I can really get down to it. But yeah, we wanted to take those profits, looks like. So cool. I'm a little confused myself right now, but I hope that you can have enough discretion to parse this while I'm talking about it. You know, just looking at the facts. I'm trying to look at the facts because I'm not very smart, and I can't tell you what to do. Okay. Yeah. So that one, big sell off, big buy up, you know. So it just depends. Like, what did this mean at that time? And then thereafter, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't effective after that. Like, I predicted that, you know, that was making people cautious. You know, this also made people cautious. So people are going to be cautious either way, and then it's going to lift off. So, yeah, I know I'm being a little contradictory, but you just got to look at the information and decide for yourself what's up. So, I know this is getting long. Probably it's already an unwieldy video to begin with, but I'll just leave you with these. I'm pretty sure that I was accurate around these. Like, Saturn causes caution. Yeah, this is that 100% spike that happened back then. So this aspect happened after the spike drew to a close, but it still wasn't a good buy. It still had let's see there. I guess I gotta look at that to tell you what I meant by that. I'm gonna close this video up pretty soon, but all right, 4/23/18. This is what I was talking about. 4/23/18. So like right at that peak, right there, right before that peak, we had this aspect, and that's going to happen again on May 16th. So this aspect therefore it generally happens after a huge downward correction. So is this a warning for a downward correction? Well, it's definitely cautious energy, and so that's the thing to be looking at. People markets, you're going to be a little cautious. So 5/16, how does that play into what we were getting at? Okay, I promised you that to close off the video I was going to look at the current situation and see if I can tell how that's going to factor in. So with what we've discussed, and I just kind of there's so much information, I got to keep it in the back of my mind. And anyway, blah blah, can't complain about my life. Okay, all right, let's see. All right, so we're just gonna look at this generally. 2020, April 23rd, the dates that we're looking at here, we're really looking at May 4th, May 6th, and April 28th. So Venus-Jupiter square. So this one I'm a bit more sure about because like it seems to be a pretty big contracting energy. So I wouldn't expect, as we're building up to this and we're you know, coming off of it, that the markets are gonna go up. I don't think so. Nothing here tells me that. I feel like we want them to with this kind of thing, but we're not gonna see that. Let's see, May 6th. What happened on May 6th? Mars, Jupiter, quincunx. I didn't talk about that. why, I don't know why I thought this was gonna be a buy. You gotta not take my advice, okay? Don't take my advice on anything, except for Jesus Christ. He is the savior of the world. Okay, but let's see. Quincunx, this is a bottom market the days preceding. This only happened one other time. That's why I only have one line here. This only happened one time. And it's happening on the 6th. So I said it's a bottom market buy the days preceding. So the days preceding, that's right now. So yeah, it's going to be a buy in general around here with these aspects, because there's just not going to be any energy around like expanding our values, like. But I can't tell you whether that stands up with the rest of this. It happened before, and like the energy was there for it to go up after that, but I'm not really seeing that there's anything that's like necessarily making it go up either. So there's definitely a big energy for it contracting. But let's see, does it do any better? I mean, these are strange times, isn't it? Okay. Yeah, I don't see this as going up. But Uranus, I don't do charts with Uranus because, like, maybe I should do Uranus-Venus chart. But I might do that for the next video if I find anything. But this could be a difficult sort of thing. I don't know what that's about. That's like extremes, like really extreme financial change, like, and that's connected to this, and that's not a great energy. All right, like that's really not all that good. I mean, yeah, that's not that great. What else are Venus and Mercury gonna do though? Is there anything that shows that they're gonna have some support, you know, with Jupiter? It's not there. It's really not there. So like, this might just be a time to buy in and just like kind of wait it out. And that's really what I think about like the next years in general. But yeah, look at this though. This might be good. The Venus trine Mercury in conjunct the moon. We might be feeling risky around this. So like that's support from like, you know, tech. We're in Cancer now, so we're like thinking about our safety. So okay, that's interesting. What is that? What's gonna happen with that? Oof, yeah, that might be great. Look for those days for your gains. I think that might be. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't think people are. I think they might gain right there, but I don't know if people are going to take profits until around over here. Like that might be. Oof. Yeah. That might be a good time to take profits for these next few weeks buys in general. But you know, I hope you have a way that you use to buy and sell, because you know I'm just here to show you some interesting things about the planets, really, and you know, do this as a practice until I get you know, better at it. But that looks good. That is a really fortuitous time. I think people are going to be taking profits big time around here. Especially with the moon in Gemini, we're really feeling the high-tech, you know, the high-tech gains vibe. Like right there, you know, screen cap this. This might be a better time than most to expect the big gains. And I think the sell-off, this is probably when the sell-off will happen for whatever gains were all week. So yeah, look for that. Look for the end of May. But yeah. Anyway, hope that was interesting for you. Let me see. Let me look at some charts for what happened around. See, I want to see the Venus. Oh, I think the profits will happen. The people taking profits will happen probably around this time. We can look at some examples of that. Let's see what we'll see what pattern we can find there. Venus, Jupiter there. Real quick. Hope you're still interested. Hope somebody's still interested. I'm not really too worried about it. But let's see. 5. Yeah, the sextile. This is really interesting. So trine, square, sextile. That's the pattern we're looking for. Trine, square, sextile. So where else does that happen? Trine, square, sextile. 924. All right, that we already looked at that. That was that big sell-off that peaked like here. So yeah, so like maybe people are gonna be taking profits like right here. 511, 518. Hope I'm not whispering too much. I'm probably not. I turned the gain way up. I'm probably too loud. Alright, so yeah, like, let's look at this. So, people are, like, we're challenged, like, our thinking is challenged around our values right there, in general. So, people are probably like, okay, this is the time. This is the time to make this sell. That might be, like, the last chance to sell. Like, this might be, like, the where it's really working well. But yeah, I would look for this range of time for your sell off. But yeah, probably it's definitely not going to go up for this time. Like it's too constricting. And but as soon as that lifts up, we'll probably see it, we'll probably start to see that that gain happen. And this aspect confuses me. I don't know what to think about that exactly. Let me look and see if we can find some history about that one. And this is the last thing I'm going to do before this video just gets terribly unwieldy. Alright, so Uranus opposed Venus here. I can show you more of this program. And I have not found much use with using these Venus transits with Uranus with the charts, but it's going to happen. So let's look. Let's see what's going to happen there. So yeah, we got 511 trine quincunx opposition. So where did we have that before? Trine quincunx opposition. We had one here too. 2019 213. 928. So yeah, that's probably like the see, that was like the time to sell back here with that one. 9213. Okay, so look at 9213 roundabouts and yeah, 2019 213, and we'll look at 928. Okay, 2019 213. Okay, so yeah, I don't know how much this really factors 2019 to 13. I mean, that would have been a good time to have, you know, I don't know how much that's really going to make a difference. That's such a long. I don't understand that planet. I mean, it should have more to do with fintech because, I mean, Uranus is like all about fintech, especially once Uranus gets into Gemini in 10, 20 years, however long man, that's going to be super weird. So, I mean, like, from now to then, definitely going to be some big changes towards this direction with the cryptos. Anyway, 9 September. Yeah, that's why it confused me, because when you do look at this chart, it looks like a bigger peak. Okay. 24. So, I mean, yeah, that would have been a great day to finally sell before it all happened. So, like, bam, that's a big change. But I bet we'd have to look at, like, the circumstances around that. Because it's more about, like, the support that it had from the benefics than when it got challenged there. So, we got some, like, we got both sides there. We got, it's kind of it might really go down right here, but I don't think it will. I think it's gonna keep building, and then people are gonna take profits like around here. So like, don't panic sell right here if it happens like that. Don't take my advice either. I'm just showing you the transits. Okay, well, I think I did enough for you to get something out of that. So have a great day. God bless you in Jesus' name. Yeah, have a great one.